Like similar to you, it was just something I have never like put stake in and like, oh, this person is so and so tribe, or this person is so and so tribe. I just never cared about that.
Right? My sister went to Zamfara. My sister went to
That's
Zamfara for
bold.
camp. The prayer that followed her wasn't easy. When she was working, I remember I think somebody trying to punish her by telling her to type something on a computer, and she was typing it, and the person was like, "How do you know how to type in Zamfara in 2009?"
Conscious when you know people from different parts of the country, and then you grow up, and then somebody tell you like, "Oh, these people do this thing," you're like, "That's dumb. Like
That's
they
not
don't
right.
do that.
Yeah.
That's not adding up."
We had CDS and we're all together, and somebody from the north stood up on his own accord without having a conversation with me in any way, shape, or form.
Mm.
And he stood up and he's like, "Yeah, I'd like to talk about getting a project manager because we need to get more projects going." And he's like, "Yeah, I think Gbadebo can do it, so I'd like to nominate him." Okay, but it was beautiful because like that's why for me I don't see religion, I don't see ethnicity. I grew up in a situation where I was with people from Muslim people, right?
Right.
Well, 3 of our best friends are Muslims, right?
Countdown day now.
It was a real countdown, man. Hey,
Episode 2.
Damn.
You read my
At
mind.
least we made it.
We made it. The first
We
episode
made it to
actually
episode
turned
2.
out way much better than I anticipated, actually. I watched
Yeah,
it, was it yesterday? Sheil had
yeah.
sent it to me, and I was like, wow, the quality was good. So, like, I feel like, we learned a lot from that, and now making it like a staple is like the goal.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes, man. It's not easy.
I
It's
like
not
that you're
easy.
repping NFL today. And NFF, I mean.
And NFF, leave these people alone. These people, just leave them alone. Just leave. Whenever you hear this, we are almost out of the World Cup running. Just almost out.
We
And
I feel like we're supposed to be in like a golden generation right now.
which golden generation? What are
We
you talking
get
about? That?
stars across the board.
Which stars across which board? I don't. There's no. It's so crazy because actually, one of my guys is South African, and the guy was like, "Ah, we should watch the match together." I said, "I'm not. Don't worry, I'm okay. I'm very okay. I'll go and play part. I'm very well, all right. I
Was it
know how much I
trauma
love you."
from university trauma of you watching the Manchester Derby together?
Ah, let's not go there. Let's not go
Good
there. Let's not go
memories,
there. Let's not go there.
captain.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've had it. We beat teams the last few games, haven't we? We've had
Yeah,
everything
yeah, yeah.
at least.
Even in a final as well.
Yeah, and we're currently
Yeah.
in crisis mode, and we're above you on the table, which is probably the only time I'm going to be able to say that this year. So I'm going to say it with my full chest. Is it?
Is the match Saturday or Sunday? I know we play this weekend.
I don't, me. I don't
You,
know
you
when the
don't care. Yeah.
once Saturday comes, then we push. Once
Yeah,
Saturday comes, we just push it through. But
I
yeah,
can't
so
say
but
much in a rough spot. In a rough spot, both Manchester City in a rough spot, Nigeria in a rough spot,
yeah,
football wise. So I can't say much right now, actually.
yeah, everything is just it's a rough time.
Awesome.
It's a very rough time. So we'll keep it like that. Let's just keep it that way.
Yeah, but
We'll
keep
keep it like that.
repping. I love the jersey, like keep repping. I think I need to cop one of those. Hopefully we make the World Cup. That will give me the push I need.
You need just copy. Don't worry. Don't disturb yourself. Just copy it. It's, to be honest, I have this one. I have the one from 20.
The popular one?
I have the popular one. Yeah,
Right, right, right. I remember that one.
I've got that one. I think I have the one from 98.
No way.
I have the 98 one. The 98 one
That's
is my
cool.
favorite. I have the white 98 one. That one is
Wow.
my favorite.
France
That's a
98?
really yeah. That one is a really proper nice jersey. That's a really nice jersey.
Is
That's a
that the
really nice jersey.
stripes?
No, yeah, we have the stripes. I need to get the jersey. I'll show you after.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but it's a white jersey. It's actually really nice, man. That's my favorite out of all of them. That's my
Talking
favorite out of all
about,
of them.
Nigerian heritage and favorite and just like a Nigerian uniform and things like that. Today is very appropriate because we're talking about like NYSC and
Ah,
all the things that goes into it.
yeah.
A part of my brain vaguely remember that you did NYSC.
Of course
Am
I
I
did
remember?
NYC. course I
Okay,
did.
okay. I was like, wait a second. When I was thinking about it, I was like, I remember you doing NYSC.
Of course I
I
did.
know I didn't.
I'm a
But
patriot.
what do you call me?
No comments. I'm a patriot. Don't worry. Let's keep that.
Yeah, I can walk through my logic later, but I guess we could start from you, the
All
super patriot. Um, you
right.
studied here. We studied together in school
We
here in the
started
States,
together, yes.
and you decided to go back to do NYSC. It was important
Mm-hmm.
to you, of course. So if you want to share a
Yes.
little bit, why did you decide to make that decision to do the NYSC?
I think, to be honest, the NYSC was more of. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, something that you have to do, right? I think in Nigeria, largely, a lot of the companies wouldn't hire you if you haven't gone through NYSC as a Nigerian, right?
Mm.
And there are some limitations to some contracts that the companies have with the government, so you have to have someone who has served, right? But to be honest, my NYSC year was fantastic. Apart from camp was crappy, man. Camp was
What is camp?
horrible. So the you have when you start the NYSC, you've got 3 weeks where you're supposed to go to. Well, before that, you register. Then they're supposed to send you to a state that is different from your state of origin or where you've grown up or something. They have an algorithm that's supposed to do that for you. And then after that, then you go for a 3 weeks camp session where you have you're there with people from the military who are teaching you about life supposedly. So you get to live there with however many people that the camp can fit, who you're in NYSC with, and then you just do drills, all the march past, all of the whatever, and whatever comes with it. So it's like a 3 week package.
It's like a
Um,
paramilitary training, kind of.
it's like a paramilitary training. I mean, you've got the same when you look at you have your mandatory year of service, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, you've got the same in South Korea. You've got it
I see, I see.
across the world. So it's something that we also have, right? And
How
for
intense
those
is
three
it?
weeks, is a little bit intense, right? You wake up early, you have early mornings, you have a schedule to do a lot of things. You end up learning. You could learn a bunch of stuff like barbing and tie and dye and
No way.
march past and have like beauty pageants and talent hunts and stuff like that. So like there's a lot that goes into these things on a daily basis for
So
those
what
three
does
weeks.
a typical day look like? When you say you wake up early, how early we talking? Do you wake up and do breakfast? Do you do run? Like what does it, if you walk me through like a typical
No, you know
one
what's
day in
funny?
that 3 weeks?
And you know what's funny? I actually didn't stay in camp the whole time. I think
Oh,
there
so
was
you were
I
not
didn't
as
stay in camp.
patriotic as I thought.
No, no, no. There's a limit to my patriotism. There's a very big limit to my. I stayed. I can't remember how long I stayed. It wasn't long, um, but yeah, it was an experience. Even from the first day, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. No, this come on.
So for the days
This
you
is
stayed there, what did they look
stop
like
it, stop it, stop it. I mean,
before you say no?
the registration itself to get your car keys, to get registered properly, you sweat. You sweat. I think I got there at probably 9 a.m. or earlier than that. And I didn't finish registration until probably 7, 8 p.m. Something
PM?
like that. PM.
9
PM.
a.m. to pretty
PM.
much 9
I don't
p.m.?
think. Yeah, I didn't finish registration until late, extremely late. And it's like, what is it that we are doing that is this complicated? Like, it's not that deep. They still use a lot, you have a book, call it the Book of Life. You have a book where you actually register, you sign in, and it's on paper. Like, it's ridiculous. And this wasn't, jeez, it's been a few years now. I think I did my NYC in
2015.
20. No, I did my NYC because I left the States in 17, so I did it in 18.
Oh, you didn't do it immediately
I didn't do it
after.
immediately after.
Oh,
I did it in 18. I did it in 18. I did
wow,
it in 18.
wow.
And I think, yeah, it wasn't the best conditions, man. Bro, like sleeping in that room. The room, I think we were 20 in a room or something like that. 20 or something like that, with bunk beds,
In one
and we're
room?
all in one room, yeah, and it was all squashed together, right? And the room only had one window going outside, so and it was Hamatan season, it was quite humid, so the room only had one entry for air and exit and that, so the air change rate was extremely low, and boys were hot. Ha!
Uh,
Nah, I've never been in that condition in my life. It's never been that bad. Ah, no, never again. I don't recommend it to anyone. I
Dang.
legitimately don't recommend it to anyone. I
Like
don't think.
are you saying NYC or the camp itself?
I mean, they are intertwined. I think for the camp, I think the camp is outdated. Although I see the point, right? If you go back to the reason why NYC was instituted in the first place, it's supposed to encourage inter-ethnic relations. You're supposed to go
Mm-hmm.
to a
Mm-hmm.
different side of the country and really
Mm-hmm.
understand, what it is that other people are going through, and that
Right.
makes you more Nigerian in your mindset, right? It's just a way to put people together and especially repairs a lot of the damage that happened
Right.
way back when,
Right.
before we can go back to amalgamation and all of those things. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of damage that they're trying to repair. And part of the thought to repair it was to do NYSC and to have people, go around. But it is not. It's not achieving what it's supposed to achieve. The conditions under which people are staying in those camps is not conditions that are fit for a human being, generally speaking, in
Mm.
terms of the sanitation, the living conditions, the food, the health. There are so many considerations that go into it, and everybody, and I say this very strongly, like everybody that is in charge in the NYSC camps and all of those things, like they have the best interests at heart.
Right.
90% or 80% of them are really fantastic when it comes to trying to get the best out of the experience for each person that comes through. But the facilities are just not there, right? The facilities are not there. My story is better. I have a friend of mine that he sent me a video when he did the same thing, and I remember he was in a room of, it can't be less than 50 people. It was a, I remember the video like I can
How
still
big
feel
is this
the,
room you're talking about when you say 50 people? Like
how to explain. You put, if you put 50 people in a room, it's a large room, quote unquote. It's a large room that can fit 25 bunk beds. Let's say it that way. It's a large room that can fit 25 bunk beds with a little space in between, so it
you're
doesn't
talking
feel like it's
the
one big.
metal, the black metal bunk beds?
No, it's
Is
not
it
even the
the
black. They tried. It's wooden. It's wooden. They tried. It's wooden.
You're just
It's
giving me
wooden.
like partial memories because I went to boarding school
Yeah,
and we had the hostel and
you
the
guys,
rooms.
you guys had metal.
Yep, the bunk beds.
Wow.
And it wasn't that many people in a room, but it was still, in my memory, still not the most ideal
You
condition. A
suffered.
topic for another day. Boarding school is a topic for another day.
You
But
suffered.
seriously. So coming from you, who, Omoiko, you also came over to the States and then
Yeah.
shifting gears to camp, that's
No.
different.
No. That's
That's
different.
different.
I was in the states in. I left the states in November, and I was in camp in January, I think.
That's a
So
rude awakening.
you switch very quickly. But then again, I'm still to some extent, it wasn't so much so that it was a transition from the states to Nigeria. It was just
Yeah.
that the conditions are unbearable, man. The conditions
Right.
are unbearable, man.
How are you
Electricity wasn't there at night, so even the fan wasn't working. Like it's ridiculous. And that was me doing camp in Lagos.
doing
Bruh, people
hybrid
went,
camp?
bruh, people, my boys traveled. My boys traveled, man. My boys traveled to places that I would never go to in a
Mm,
million years. It's so crazy that the whole thing about NYSC, and we talk about traveling to
hmm
camp and traveling to the states where you are posted to, like people die on the way to these places. Like it's crazy. People lose their lives on the ways to these places. Like there's no, they don't make anything for you. Like you don't have any sort of secure transport to go from point A to point B.
Right,
It's your
right.
responsibility to get there. And a lot of these places, you've got the militants, you've got the kidnappers on the road, you've got so many things, and a lot of people are going from the south to the north or the east to the
Yeah.
west. The trips are not
Mm-hmm.
short, and the
Mm-hmm.
flights are expensive. So it's not every family that's going to be able to afford these
Yeah.
things. So you're going, and you're holding your breath, and your child gets there safely, man. It's not the easiest, man. It's not the best thing at all. It's not the
And
best
you
thing at all.
feel like it's of course super tragic. And it almost feel like from your perspective, we know we joked about being patriotic in the beginning, but
Yeah,
like the deeper reason I feel like a lot of people are doing it right now is because if they don't do it, pretty much their university education is kind of a waste because you're not going to be able to get a job as easy if you don't have it. Is
yeah.
that the main push for risking your life? Is that the main
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
people are still doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, people are doing it. Plus, it's a chance to go somewhere and actually make, and I put I say tongue in cheek, actually make something, right? I think now they've
Hmm.
increased it to 77K. In my time, we were getting paid, if I remember correctly, 19K, and then it was
Wow.
moved up to something. So some of the people that do the count, like they go and um, they earn 5 to 10K at their job, and then an extra 19K as a copper, and you do that. So
That's
for
tough.
most people going through that process, right? Me, I'm privileged. I was privileged to go through the system and be comfortable or pseudo
Yeah.
comfortable through that
Yeah.
system. But for the large number of people, and you know me, the thing about me is it's not about me, it's about the people around me, right?
Hmm.
If you're looking at the experiences of those around you, then you start to see that a lot of people have a lot of issues making this commitment. And if it was a commitment that they had a choice to make, then it's one thing.
Right.
But it's something that's forced upon you, right? Budget is a huge budget is allocated to it every year in the government. So you have it's
So where does
something
the
that is
money go? Right? Because you say if let's say budget is allocated to it, we're talking about the camp not being great. We're talking about the pay not being great. We're talking about transportation non-existent. So where does that budget? Is it that the budget is not enough, or what is happening? Then
where does
what's
the
going
money
on?
go? The question is where does the money go in every single Nigerian in every single Nigerian debate? The question is always where does the money go, right?
All right.
What are we using the money to do? And look, in itself, if you roll it back, to
Mm.
be honest, we still have inter-ethnic ethnic relational problems. It still exists till today. It's not something
Hmm.
the generation the generation that was alive in the 60s, the 50s, 70s are still
Mm.
around till today.
Yeah.
And some of those things that some of those brainwashing tactics that were used on them at the time still exist. And the thing
Right. Right.
about the brainwashing tactics is that it's easy to pass from generation to generation, right?
What do you mean
You
by
can
that? What do you mean brainwashing tactics? Give us some context.
So if you take the context, you can go back, of course, to the Biafra War, or you can go even before that, right?
Hmm.
After the Biafra War, especially, you have the fact that there's a lot of mistrust between people from the east to the west, from the west to the north. If you're in Lagos or if you're in the southwest, and you speak to people who are from those generations, you would hear about things that, oh, don't trust this person or don't trust that person because they are this, or don't trust this person because they are this. There are many places, even within same regions, right? South, south, southwest, what or whatnot. There are many parents that would never encourage you to get married to somebody from the next state. So
Mm.
those biases still exist. And in a world where you can put people in a situation where they go and they live like someone who is from the other side of the country, who think places that you don't hear, news about, right? It's not every day that you hear news about Taraba, for instance, and say, okay, this is
Right.
what's going on in Taraba. Like you can't, unless it's bad news, you won't hear. Like,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
you hear
Yep.
about Calabar today because the tourism industry that was built in the time of Donald Duke, however many years ago, probably two
Oh, I
decades
remember
ago.
that name actually.
Yeah, that is just down the drain, and you find,
Yeah.
views about it. You won't hear things about them unless it's negative. And you also have the thing where generations are passing down biases. So if you get the opportunity to move people from one point to the other, and let them see life for themselves. Let them meet people, right? My sister went to Zamfara. My sister went to
That's
Zamfara,
bold.
and
Mm.
the prayer that followed her wasn't easy.
Can
The stories that
imagine.
she has to tell. But the thing about it is that she will always tell you that people from Zamfara are people who are beautiful people, right? When she was working, I remember I think somebody tried to punish her by telling her to type something on a computer, and she was typing it, and the person was like, "How do you know how to type in Zamfara in 2009 or something like that?" But it allows you to see, and it takes you, especially if you're coming from Lagos or a place
Right.
that is more developed in the country, it allows you to see another side of life where you are able to understand, man, these people don't really have what we have over there. Or it also helps you to see that these things that my parents or my uncles or aunts or grandparents have been saying about these people is not true, right?
Right.
My
Right.
best friends in Niger, majority of them are not Yoruba. Like my best friends in Niger, is not. I grew up with Igbo people. My closest friends are Igbo people.
Mm-hmm.
So I never got to. It wasn't until I was probably a teenager that I really understood what the biases were. But by that time, it
Mm-hmm.
was too late because you cannot affect me when the person that is one of
Right.
my oldest friends in life is Igbo. What do you want me to? There's nothing I can relate with you now. We've been together since
Right.
primary three, or even before that, if I remember correctly. So you can't take that away from me and say that my experiences are not true. So, but in terms of the vision, the ideology behind it,
Right.
fantastic. But the implementation, execution, zero. And that you can
Yeah.
say for everything else. But the beautiful thing about the NYC is that people still make beauty out of craziness.
Mm. In what way?
We've spoken to a few people about NYC, man. We've spoken to a few people. We've spoken to a number of people, right, who have had an impact on their immediate community and it started during NYSC,
Right. Right.
right? We've
Even
spoken
the
to people
last
who have,
story, Muiwa, I think, yeah,
Muiwa,
that was the
was
same.
also on NYSC, but you see people going and taking the opportunity to go into different communities and lecture people on healthcare, lecture people on the
Mm-hmm.
importance of girls going to school,
Right. Right.
taking
Right.
that opportunity during NYSC to go and sit down with the king and have the opportunity to talk to the leadership to allow them to encourage kids to go to school. Like people take the opportunity to do crazy, beautiful things during NYSC, but and that's the beauty of Nigeria as a whole, right?
Right.
You look at craziness and you still try to make the best out of it. One of my biggest regrets in life, and it's something that I'll always regret, is, and I rarely have regrets. So, but this one has stuck with me, right? When I did NYSC, I was paired. So after the 3 weeks in camp, right? Then you have
Mm-hmm.
like a year, 9 months left,
Mm-hmm.
and in those 9 months, you are posted to a place where you work, and then each day of
They
the break
give you
in
the
camp,
job. Did they give you the
yeah,
job
they,
or
they,
okay?
they can assign you the job, or you can put in that you've gotten a place of employment. So could you kindly
Okay.
post me to this place? So you have those two options that are given to you. Usually they will prefer for it to be in your field of study.
Mm.
But the thing about that is that once a week you're also required to report to it's called CDS. I can't remember. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's Community Development Scheme. I can't remember what the CDS stands for. But you're forced to go there once a week to report, right? Report yourself, and then meet with people who are also in, the same field as you. So you have maybe a CDS for ICT, you have a CDS for finance, and
Okay.
things like this. So once a week you gather at the local government, and then you stay there, you talk, you plan, and then you go forward, right? And part of making beauty out of chaos is my CDS, and I loved my CDS quite a bit. A lot of people don't, but I had the best experience, right? Because I met people from there that I still talk to till today. I met
Mm.
people from there who have developed their careers since then, and
Right.
I've been able to see that growth, right? And during my CDS, I remember I had two world class photographers, or three, and I had a visual artist who is currently selling her artwork in dollars, in USD, um, who actually is dating. Remember the person that I told you that I grew up with, the Igbo person that I grew up
Right.
with.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I I've known him for 25 plus years, if I 20
Wow.
some years.
Mm-hmm.
And I met this visual artist I'm talking about. I met her during CDS in 2018. And in 2023, 23, 22, 23, they started dating.
No way. Through
And I
your
remember he
connection?
told, no, not through my connection, through another person's connections who I knew because
Wow.
we all went to high school together. So another person. And then he called me. I remember the phone call. He called me and he's like, do you know her? I'm like, she says she knows you. I'm like, yeah, of course, we're close. Like, I knew her. Like, we spent a lot of time during CDS together. So, I was like, yeah. And she's like, why didn't you ever tell me about her? I'm like, I don't understand. Am I supposed to tell you about everybody? I don't understand. Help me. Like, am I supposed to tell you about every single person? They are still dating until today, which is quite nice. I went to visit them a couple of months ago. So that was actually
That's
quite nice.
awesome.
That
That's
was
pretty
quite nice.
wholesome.
But yeah, so I had those people. And I remember I was supposed to be, I think I was the project manager during CDS, which
I
is a
think I
very
remember that.
I think I was project manager during
Mm-hmm.
CDS, and I think in doing that, it's actually funny because somebody actually nominated me to be a project manager. I didn't apply to do it, but it just shows like it was somebody from the north that stood up. It's so beautiful. We had CDS and we're all together, and somebody from the north stood up on his own accord without having a conversation with me in any way, shape, or form.
Mm.
And he stood up and he's like, "Yeah, I'd like to talk about getting a project manager because we need to get more projects going." And he's like, "Yeah, I think Gbadebo can do it, so I'd like to nominate him." I'm like, "Okay, okay, cool," you know. But it was beautiful because like that's why for me I don't see religion, I don't see ethnicity. I grew up in a situation where I was with people from Muslim people, right?
Right.
Well, three of our best friends are Muslims, right? We don't care. It's not something that
Right.
comes into consideration. They are good people. They are good people. We are going to be together regardless, right? I have people. We have people from the east, from the north. Like it's just beautiful. You just have people like this. It's just a beautiful type of thing. And in doing that, I remember I went to the person who was managing the CDS. I forget the role that they are called, but I went up to meet her and I was like, "Look, I have these people. These are amazing people, and they are here for free. So what I would like to do is to go around Surulere, and I wanted to take pictures around
Mm.
the city,
Mm.
put up an exhibition, and sell whatever it was, and then take that money and donate it to the public schools in the area."
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And I had this grand plan. I was so excited. You know me when I sat down and I planned this thing out to a T. And I'm like, yeah, there's no
Let's
way I
go.
can. There's no way somebody will say no to this. I was so sure. I
Right.
spoke. I remember speaking to a couple of people, and it was like, yeah. So I had it all planned out in my head, and I went to the person in charge, and she just said no. That's a waste of time. Ha! Yeah.
Just flat out no.
It's a waste of time. I promise you that there's one of those photographers that charges not. He doesn't. I don't think he charges in Naira. I think he's in the UK now. I don't think he charges.
Wow.
I don't think.
Pound sterling.
Ha! Are you joking? The boy is good. The boy is fantastic.
It's
He's
a man
too good,
now.
bro. The visual artist, I'm telling you, I will send you
Yeah,
her
please
what's it called,
do.
her website. Bro, talent past talent. So I had all of these people. The other person, Emmy took, you always accuse me of using one picture for life. Emmy took my pictures, some of my pictures in 2018, 2019, for my
Mm-hmm.
birthday, one of those years. And those
Is that
pictures
the
are still,
one
those are
on
my
your
office
WhatsApp
DPs.
DP?
No, the one on my WhatsApp DP is the one from this year now. At least I went to do
Oh
an
yeah,
anniversary
yeah. I
for
mean,
this year, so
before
I
you
still.
change the WhatsApp
Before I
DP.
changed it, it was Emmy's own. It was Emmy's own. Now Emmy is one of the best wedding photographers in Nigeria, hands down.
That's amazing.
So, but all of those people I met, and all of those people I really wanted to take the opportunity to have something where we were going to do it for charity, take those pictures, make those paintings, make the art, sell it. It was going to be
Mm-hmm.
nice. And the answer was flat out no. You should
No.
go and plant tree. So
Wow.
the intention behind NYSC is it was good, but at the end of the day, it's you destroy
The
vision.
execution. Yeah, the execution.
Execution is zero.
So do you feel like coming out of it, going into it as a patriot, and you compared to me, you're like a super patriot. Going
Ah,
into it, coming out of it, do you
yeah,
feel more or less of a patriot? Because from your perspective, right? Like you already are an inter-ethnic person,
yeah,
inter-religion, like you already so it wasn't going to teach you that because you already had that.
yeah,
So, but in terms of like being more attached to the concept or the reality of like Nigeria as the country, because I think that's one of the goals too. They're like, oh, they want it to be more Nigerian, I guess.
yeah.
Would you say you came out more towards that idea, or did you come out feeling more disillusioned because you tried some things and they're like, no, you camp was terrible. It sounded a little bit like your experience. Of course, you say you had some like a big regret on there that it was a
Yeah.
difficult year, and now reflecting on it almost a decade later,
Yeah.
how do you feel that has impacted your view of Nigeria? Do you feel it's positive, negative, same, doesn't?
It didn't touch it. I don't think. I think my view of Nigeria. I've always been an optimistic Nigerian until probably
That's good. Oh, don't
even till today.
stop.
To be honest,
Don't
no,
stop. Oh,
even till
that's
today.
good.
To be honest, I'm still optimistic about Nigeria. To be fair, I'm still optimistic about
You're
Nigeria. I
optimistic.
think
That's why we're doing this video. What are you talking about?
that's why I'm. That's why I jumped on this thing in the first place. But like, I think it's not like it made it any less, and it didn't increase it. It just showed me that we have a long way to go. Right? You had a part of the trainings that were ongoing at the time when I was in NYSC was teaching people how to use a computer,
Mm,
right? That's crazy in 2020. I was in
yeah, that's pretty wild.
2018. It
Yeah.
was crazy to teach people who are working in the
Mm,
local
mm,
government
mm,
how to
that's
use a computer to a certain degree.
yeah.
That is crazy. So when I came with my idea, and to be fair, when she said no, it's not like she said no out of ignorance, right? When she said no, she's like, look, we need to be training these people. These people in local government cannot use these things now. So let's spend the time and train them and get them to a basic level of knowledge versus
Mm,
giving money. That was her standpoint, right? So it
mm,
wasn't that I was just bummed that I didn't get the opportunity to do what I
right,
wanted to do,
right,
right?
right.
But at the end of the day, she was thinking more of increasing the base level. And one of the things that it showed me more than anything else was, especially because I went to uni in these states, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming back and seeing people who have graduated not be able to construct sentences like in full, like it then shows you that it shows you the average Nigerian more than anything. It shows you how far we have to go and how much effort we all have to put into it, right?
Yeah,
It goes in line with NYSC because at the end you need to be able to do it together, right?
right.
And what you it's easy to misunderstand that fact. It's easy to misunderstand the fact that when you look on Instagram and you check Nigerians and you see Nigerians are balling on a different level, and then you see that it's even people who it seems like they cannot afford that lifestyle trying to do it, right? But it's just people trying to keep up with the Joneses. The issue is when you do NYSC and you see everybody for who they are, you
Mm,
understand that there's a long way to go.
mm,
There's a ridiculously long way to go, man. There's a long,
yeah.
long way to go,
I think you
man.
hit the nail on the head, actually, because when you were talking about NYC, some of my personal reflections is if you think about it similar to a, let's bring it to fitness, right? Like if you
Yeah.
want to be a healthy, fit
As you're an athlete
individual,
now.
if you want to
As
be
you're a marathon runner.
I beg. Um, if you want to be a fit or, just averagely, the
Uh-huh.
idea is that on a daily, weekly, consistent basis, you
Yeah.
maybe lift weights, you maybe run a mile, run 2 miles, run 3 miles consistently, right?
Yeah.
You don't just like don't walk out a whole year and then one day you say, "Oh, I'm gonna run a marathon today," and then you run it
Uh-huh.
all, right?
Yeah.
In a way, it's not a both, it's not a either or in my mind's
Mm-hmm.
eye. In my mind's eye is NYSC is kind of being used as, oh, this is this magic pill that is going to solve all these issues. Like once you graduate, you do this thing, and you get intercultural whatever. But I
yeah,
actually think if we take it one step back, our education from primary school, secondary school, university should be more integrated, like in that way, right? This like courses to show you how the real Nigeria that is different from you is, whether that is doing excursions, whether that is, doing subjects or watching films that or documentaries or like integrated into how we learn about the other person, right? To
yeah,
make it more human and kind of promoting like maybe group projects across different ethnic groups and things like that. So that when you then get to NYSC and you get the chance to do it also in person for a longer period of time, that's not the first time, for example. Your case, that
yeah,
wasn't the case, right? But
yeah,
that shouldn't be the first time. Let's say you are now 20 something. That shouldn't be
yeah,
the first time you're seeing somebody from the north live in their authentic life, right? That
yeah,
should not be the first time that you're seeing somebody other than you kind of like, oh wow, this is actually different from my pre. That's like 20 something. Like some of your ideas are concrete at that point, right?
yeah,
So my kind of initial take on it a little bit is like, I think it's a good initiative. It would be nice if it was, if the funding was used well for like the
yeah,
camp doing well, people being paid well, people being transported, and security becoming more of a serious thing. But also, I think that idea should also like permeate our tertiary education, like in the university, in primary, secondary, kind of just holistically. Like if you think like Germany, for example, right? Germany post World War II. One of the things they've done really, really well is they have really taught their history across the board,
yeah,
right? Every German, like, they're not ashamed of it. They know this is what we did back in the day, and this is what happened, right? They are educated and educated and educated and educated and educated, and they have more like this, in my opinion at least, a very rounded upbringing about their country's past,
yeah,
right? So it's not something that they wait till you graduate university and then give you a 1 year crash course to say like,
right,
oh, this is how to not start another world war, right? Or
yeah,
this how not to be xenophobic or whatever.
yeah,
So I think it should be more, that idea should be more integrated across our education. But then secondly, in my mind's eye personally, just to give, as someone who didn't do NYC, just kind of
yeah,
my logic, um, you, we're joking like patriotic, not patriotic, but in I had the, I know I was very privileged to, go to school here, graduate here. And when I was kind of doing like the metric, like, should I do this thing or should I not? It was more so like I thought, like, okay, this is a whole year. A year is big. Life's short. A year is
yeah,
huge.
yeah, yeah, it's huge.
Year is
Yeah,
huge.
it's huge,
Life's
man.
short. Anything could happen. And I was just thinking, like, like what? I was just thinking in my head, like a whole year, like, what if I wanted to do something? What if I wanted to go to grad school? What if I wanted to start a company? Like that's a big commitment. So at the end of the day, I kind of did like the, pros and cons. I loved the idea. But because I wasn't still fully into like that, I still wish that it was more integrated across because I feel like it was a little bit of a band-aid. And it's even a shout out to everyone who has made beauty out of chaos because the fact that it's even working to some extent blows my mind. It's impressive to me. But when I looked at and heard stories from my friends, from other people, from even you who are doing it, in my head, I was just like, I just found it
It's not
so
fun.
difficult to do it.
I hear
And
you for
now
real.
in hindsight, there's the bittersweet part. Like I feel like I made the right decision from a logical, like what is best for Toby, what is best for me in terms of my time. But at the same
Yeah,
time, I still have that bittersweet of like, oh, I wish I did it because it would have really concrete says like it would be nice to like maybe if I because I'm from Kogi, it would have been nice to maybe go to like Enugu, it would like be nice to go maybe go to like Kano, it would like be nice to
I
go to
even have a
somewhere
question
else.
for you, because
Mm-hmm.
me, I grew up in Lagos, right? And Lagos is
Mm-hmm.
where money is. So, like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
people in different, outside, but everybody, well,
Right, 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 right.
but in Kogi, how was it? Was it? Because when you talk about this integration thing, I know how I grew up, right? I had all these friends. But in Kogi, in your classes, like, was it mainly people from Kogi, or like, did you have a good number from different places?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty decent mix. You get really Kogi is kind of also sort of in the
Ah,
middle of Nigeria,
yeah, because it's
right?
still Abuja, yeah,
So know some, grew up with some people from the south, people from the north, but in Kogi itself too, there were also different ethnic groups. There was like
yeah,
there's Okun, Egbira, Igala, and they were the dominant
yeah,
groups, and there were also like Basa and like other tribes as well.
yeah,
But there was definitely, and I think there still is, the distrust. I think that's the big thing. It's funny because when I compare it to the States, in the States, when we talk about racism, it's more about you thinking this other group is not as valuable as you or something,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's racism, right?
yeah,
Um, and because you're in a position of power, you can impose, whatever on them.
yeah,
In tribalism, like go back to Niger, and that ethnic divide and conquer is more so this notion of like, can I trust this person? And
yeah,
that's how I think a lot of the things kind of shake down when you're thinking about politics. Like in Kogi, for example, it's like Iola, Okun, Egbere, like, can I trust this person to be my governor? Can I trust this person to be
yeah,
my boss? Can I trust this
yeah,
person to, follow through?
yeah,
I think that is what is being weaponized for many, many years now, since the war, and even maybe before the war. It
yeah,
has always been a matter of like, is this person going to backstab you? Is this person going to trust you? And trust is one of the hardest currencies to earn, right? Because without doing life with people, you don't get the reps of building the trust. Like you build the trust
definitely,
with your friend who is Igbo from the South
yeah,
because you build that cows, you build that, that rapport.
yeah,
And again, I still think similar to you, I think I grew up very privileged in the sense that, yes, in a multi-ethnic, but for some reason, that has just been something I never cared about. Like, like in terms of like, oh, this person's different. I've always just gravitated towards people who are, different than me in different ways.
yeah,
So I don't know if
yeah.
that is just something that's born with environment. I'm not
It's
sure.
just
But
you.
also, for example, my dad, he did travel a lot as a young man, so he can speak like if I'm losing count, maybe all those seven different Nigerian language, like Hausa, Igbo, Basa, all those. He was kind of, he didn't have his parents didn't have money, so like he, hop on a bus and like go to this town and like, learn there and apprentice there and work in the market. So he had this multi-ethnic persona growing up. A lot of
Yeah,
people, when he's in the north, he would behave as like he would act as a northern and dress
straight.
speak their language. And a lot of people didn't even know he was, he claims he's not a Yoruba man, but
Ah,
he's like Okun man, right? Um, so I think maybe that probably played a part, but like just looking back, like it was just something I never like in my like I would hear people talk about it of like, oh, this person is so 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 and so tribe, but for some reason it just never registered in my
it just
head.
won't click, right?
Yeah, so I feel privileged that that was the case, but it's not the
Yeah,
same for everybody. Some people
yeah,
grew up even like in the States here, they're like friends that grew up racist till they came to college, right? And
yeah,
then they were like, oh my gosh, like people who are black are not what I thought they were, right?
yeah,
And then they change, right? But
yeah,
that's not everybody. A lot of
for sure.
people still maintain that, unconscious bias and things like that. So for me, it's more, I think Kogi, yes, we had different cultures, but I maybe just family upbringing. I just feel incredibly privileged because I just did like similar to you. It was just something I have never like put stake in and like, oh, this person is so and so tribe, or this person so and so tribe. I just never cared about that. And I don't. I maybe I need to do some reflection as to why that was the case, because that was not the norm around me growing up, I would say. But we also had good friends who, there's a lady who means the world to me. She's from the South, and she grew up as like kind of like even like a second mom, right? I remember like running to her house a couple times. So I think maybe those subconscious, when you know people from different parts of the country, and then you grow up and then somebody tell you like, oh, these people do this thing, you're like, that's dumb. Like
That's
they
not
don't
right.
do that.
Yeah,
That's not adding up.
doesn't make
Um,
sense.
Exactly. So I think maybe that's why. But I think Kogi, I'll say it again. Lokoja was the first capital of Nigeria, so you need to put some respect on that. Most centralized, so we're not as remote as we're remote, but not as
Hey,
remote as you
we're
think.
not as
Uh,
remote in the center. At least if they attack us from the sea, you'll be the last to get hit.
yep, you will be the last because
No,
you
you
have
won't be the
to.
last. No, you won't be the last. Ah, no, you won't be the last. You won't be the last.
We're in the dead
Trust me.
center, so like if
You're
you
dead center now.
before you get there,
Before you
mosquitoes
get
will
there, you
treat you
sweat.
well.
You sweat. You sweat. You sweat. You sweat. Look at that. Look at that. No, I mean, and that's good. I mean, to have a parent like that that has sacrificed so much and moved around, man, it has its own effect on you, right?
Yeah, I think for him it was,
That's probably why you just can meet anybody and you just blend.
it could, like you said, like I had not thought about it that way before. I just, oh, that's, how we grew up and stuff like that. And um but it's definitely now that as we are talking about it, I think it definitely plays a part. And even till today, he's still like that, right? He is going to, let's say he goes to Ivory Coast and he immediately wants to learn their language. He wants to learn French. He wants to speak it there. And I'm still like that too. Like when we're going to a different country, I'm like, oh, I want to like actually speak the language with the local people. Um,
How's your French going?
it's going well. It's going well, I would
Yeah.
say. I'm excited to visit again, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll say it's going well. C'est super.
Okay, fair enough.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, but
Yeah,
but okay,
this
no,
has
that's
been good,
fair.
man.
That's fair, actually. So well, in case you're listening to this, there is a story on Stories from Nigeria now called
Yes, good plug. From
NYSC.
Olumuyiwa, making an
Olumuyiwa,
impact
yes.
during NYSC.
Making an impact
Um,
during NYSC. It's something worth checking out for sure. Yeah, we do interesting interviews, man. The last interviews that we had with this lady Tobi Ajayi,
yes,
so
Sean told me about it.
that's one of the best conversations I've had in a long time. I've been doing this now for what? We've been doing this together 4 years,
Yep, yep.
4 years there about. This was one of the most fun conversations
That's
I've
amazing.
had. So it's something to
Hopefully
look
we can
forward to,
have her
man. It's
on
a
the
really good one.
podcast even.
Hey man, that'll be good. That'll be good. She's my
Yeah.
personal person.
Yeah.
She's legitimately a good. So I promise you, that's a
Yeah.
fantastic. When the read comes out, it's gonna be really really good for sure, man. But it's been
Yeah.
fantastic, man. We finished episode 2.
Yeah, and also this we
Yeah,
didn't plan this plug actually,
yeah,
but
yeah,
if you listen and you did NYSC or you didn't do NYSC or you're planning to do
yeah,
NYSC, please send us an email if you want to share a story or something about that.
yeah.
It's sfn@storiesfromnigeria.org. But as always, it's been real. Gbadebo, thank you for sharing your experience. This has been really, really great. And
Always,
you
man.
know one up in my patriotism by following through with
Well,
your
look,
hybrid NYSC.
with my hybrid, anyway, at least I have something above you now until this weekend when we have to watch my stupid club play football
No,
again.
our
So we'll
clubs are
see.
both stupid right now, but
We'll see. We'll
fingers
see.
crossed.
Fingers
I
crossed, man.
appreciate you,
Fingers crossed.
brother.
Anytime, my bro. It's a good one.
Have a good one, bro. Take care.
Enjoy.
Mhm.